All right, cool. Right. Kenneth, we're live. We have to do this. So, Kenneth K, welcome to Coffee and Conversations with Champions. And thank you for your time. And it's an honor to have you on the show.
Most welcome. It was actually my privilege to be on your podcast.
Oh, fantastic. Thank you. That and it means a lot to us that you it's quite late where you are. It's 3 p.m. in South Africa. What's the time in Malaysia?
It's 6 hours
Yeah.
beyond that, so it's 9 p.m.
9 p.m. Okay, fantastic. Well, thank you so much. I'll let you know when we have some viewers on the stream, and also we can take questions as well and comments. And the cool thing is, when they come in, I'll drop them on. So tell us a little bit about who is Kenneth, a little bit of your background.
All right. So basically, I started this sport back in 2017, 18, back then, which I actually stumbled upon a local powerlifting mate when I was just hanging around in the mall, and uh, the meet atmosphere itself actually captured me. So
Yes,
when I actually witnessing the whole competition and the whole vibes itself, uh, I felt like very encouraging, and it is something very different from other sports that I've seen so far in my life. Because when I actually look back and at other sports like soccer, basketball or whatnot, there are always two teams battling each other, and there will be fans cheering their own teams, but
yes,
they also booing the opposition.
yes,
But in powerlifting, it is what unique about that. Everyone is cheering towards everyone, you know. So
absolutely.
yeah. So I felt like very encouraging, motivated, and by then I was just wanted to sign up for that.
It's such a wonderful analogy example that you've given, where everybody is cheering for every athlete. There's no team that you're going up
Exactly.
against one another. So we do have someone waving and saying hello here. I think, can you see that from? So there, you want to give a shout out?
Yeah, I think it was Michael.
Okay, cool. Thanks. Hi, Michael. We can we can wave at him. Absolutely. So you see the first competition, and what made you then want to get involved in the sport?
uh,
Well,
like I
sorry, how
say,
what was your journey from there to getting involved in the sport?
oh, so actually, it was actually very simple. Back then, when there is the local meet, I was just following up with the next competitions that are available for me to join, and then after that, I just take a shot. And actually, initially in my especially in my first competition, it was just for the sake of fun. I don't
Right.
actually think a lot. Like I wanted to represent my country, to go beyond and whatnot. The thing is, I just wanted to experience that kind of atmosphere, and get that kind of experience. But later on down the road, where after my first and second meet, I realized I have that kind of a potential to actually go further in
Yes.
this sport. So eventually, I just when I kept on winning and winning, it was giving me that kind of what they call as what is the word, like it triggered me to
Yes.
actually continue that sport itself.
So you
So
you you
eventually,
got the taste for it.
yeah, exactly. So when I actually keep on winning, it seems like okay, it seems like a very positive kind of sport, so that I just wanted to venture further from there.
Absolutely fantastic. So let's talk a little bit about your career. What was your first competition? What is the process that you go through in Malaysia in terms of competing? So in South Africa, as an example, we have a provincial competition, a regional, then we have a national, and then you get selected for the national team. What was your journey?
back then when I first participated in my first ever powerlifting meet, it was actually a non-sanctioned IPF National Federation meet, because back then
Right.
there wasn't such Malaysia Federation that was sanctioned under IPF
Yes.
when I back in 2017. So I was just participating in an unsanctioned meet at that time. Everyone is just going in having fun, something like that. But going after that, like 1 year beyond, uh, the federation actually was built, and it was like a genuine sanctioned IPF national federation.
Right.
And then later on, they also announced that, oh, there will be opportunity to select athletes to represent the country to international meets, something like that. So after that, I'll just I'll take part from the competition from there on. And after that, there was a lot of changes. I would say in the federation itself. Back then, there wasn't such process like what you mentioned.
Yes.
There was nationals and then regionals. um, it was just something like a open qualifiers for everyone. So
Okay.
whoever actually a certain qualifying numbers and meet the criteria of like volunteering throughout the meet, something like
Yes.
that uh, there was an opportunity to be selected into the national team. But then
Right.
right after COVID, uh, after that, I was actually being voted in as the deputy president of the National Federation itself.
Oh,
So,
fantastic.
yep, thank you. And after that, some of us, as being the new um, people in the federation, we actually suggested that we wanted to make it like a full process of the athlete to actually come and join, and
Yes.
then there will be a qualifying stages. Like from the national qualifiers into nationals itself, and then after that into sub-regionals, and then into regionals and internationals. So we after that, we actually received a very positive feedback and say that this is actually the right direction for us to grow nationally.
The sport. Fantastic. So
Yeah.
let's chat a little bit about powerlifting in Malaysia before we carry on with your journey. And you've got a hug there as well from Mike. So he's sending a hug to you. Thanks,
All right.
Michael. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
It's good. The support is good.
Yeah.
How big is powerlifting currently in Malaysia? Where would you like to see it grow? How is it growing?
So far, it has been growing very, very well. A lot of new joiners coming in every single mid. There will be new faces, and then there will
Right.
be new athletes who able to qualify into nationals and then qualify into our international meets. So it was actually um, very glad to see how this sport has fared so far. Uh, it actually grew. Um, I would say it actually grew tremendously after COVID. A
Right.
lot of things has been changed. Back then there was a lot of political issue here and there. Yeah. And then right now we can actually see even more sub juniors and juniors coming in, more youngsters, and also masters. um, you know a lot of people actually have been joining powerlifting. So
Right.
it was actually very very positive for
Fan-
us.
Fantastic. Do you have any numbers? How many affiliated lifters do you have currently?
uh I can't remember it,
Okay.
but it
No
was
pressure.
rough. I don't know, maybe like around 100 to 200, around
That's
there.
okay. That's fantastic. And
Yeah.
what is how has that growth been? What was it 5 years ago? Do you know?
Oh, 5 years ago, I would say like less than 50
Okay. Wow.
back.
Okay. So that's
Yeah.
fantastic. That's really
Yeah.
good growth.
Yeah, especially because the membership itself is only like valid for a year.
Yes.
So yeah, so every member we actually need to like renew the year after that. So I still remember very clearly, like back then, um during COVID itself, no one actually like wanted to renew their membership because there was no powerlifting meets, right?
Yes.
So we can't hold any competition. So everyone was like, okay, so I'm not sure when I'll be competing, so why should I go and
Right.
uh, extend my membership? So it was just a few of us who still wanted to put that hope into the federation and the sport itself. So we just sustain the sport, we just pay for the membership, and do a lot of back-end marketing work to promote the sport through social media. And because
Yes.
especially back then, everyone is being locked down at home, right? So everyone is on social media, so it
Yes.
was actually a good time for us to actually do a lot of marketing at that time.
Oh, fantastic. Another
Yeah.
question, by the way, from Michael. He wants to know how your prep's going so far. You can chat about that if you want. You can leave it because I know athletes
Mm.
don't really want to talk about their preparation so close to the competition.
Yeah, I mean, I can talk about it. Perhaps we leave all the questions like at the end
Mm,
uh
perfect.
of
I'm happy. Yeah,
the
I'm happy to do
competition.
that for you. Let's talk about the Commonwealth 2022. So we're coming out of COVID. Was this your first international?
Back then, no, it was my third internationals back then.
Right.
Before that, we went to Asian Championships in 2019, and then after that, right after COVID, there was our Southeast Asian Cup,
Okay.
and then Commonwealth.
Okay. Now tell it, how
Yes.
did Commonwealth go? What was that like competing at Commonwealth for your country?
Uh it was I was really glad to be able to represent the country, to fly all the way to New Zealand back in 2022 for the Commonwealth. Uh, it was also the first me being the first male Malaysian to
Yes.
compete in the Commonwealth, and also to be able to podium on stage as well. So
Fantastic.
it was a very humble moment at the time.
So what did that mean to you? What did it feel like?
Uh it it meant a lot because I still remember back then, there was a lot of struggles, especially during the Southeast Asian Cup. It was actually being held in the same year. It was like, if I'm not mistaken, like 4 or 5 months earlier before the Commonwealth. I was actually being nominated, being like the top, if I'm not mistaken, like the first in my weight category at that time.
Yes.
So a lot of people actually like had high expectations on me, and then I actually felt pressure at that time because everyone have expectations, and led to me giving myself that kind of expectation as well. So when the Southeast Asian Cup came, I mean, eventually the result wasn't very ideal.
Right.
I I wasn't I wasn't being placed on the podium overall. So it
Okay.
was a very very humble moment where I felt very very defeated in my life.
Okay.
So at that
That's not
time,
it's not easy. Sure.
it's not easy, especially at that time. There was actually like two Malaysians uh, at the same category, and then he was an underdog back then. Like
Hmm.
everyone putting the hope and the faith in me, but then the other athlete actually able to override and win uh, our division for our country,
Right.
which is to me it's like a happy and sad kind of a moment, because I was happy for him and for the country itself to be able to have Malaysian to be able to have a
Yes.
gold medal overall on the podium. But at the same time, I also feel very very uh, grief and sad at the same time, because I was the one who initially had a lot of expectation towards this competition, and then I didn't perform to
Right.
that level.
Yes.
Yeah, so after that, I felt very very um, disappointed to myself. I even questioned whether should I still continue in this sport, in this journey. And
Right.
then uh, upon communicating with a lot of people around me, my family, my girlfriend back then, which is my fiance right now,
Hey,
and
hold
also
on. Congratulations.
thank you, thank you. And also some of my powerlifting friends, they actually encouraged me and told me that you shouldn't have you know put that kind of mentality
Hmm.
uh, into this position, because you're just pressuring yourself. At the end of the day, it's the result. Of course, the result speaks on its own, but it is something that we cannot also control. A lot of things is just beyond our control, right?
Absolutely.
So yeah, and then I wanted to do another meet, and at that time I just wanted to go into Commonwealth 2022 back then, without any expectation at all.
Okay.
I just wanted to have fun and have that kind of experience. That's it.
Yeah.
I
It,
don't want to place any sort of expectation,
for sure.
because the more expectation I have, uh, and if the result doesn't turn out the way we wanted, we will feel much more disappointed in that way.
Yes,
So at that time, I
absolutely.
was just like, just uh, let's go and have fun. That's it.
Oh, fantastic. You've made
Yeah.
such a valid point, and you've raised something that I think is so important, and I'd like to chat a little bit more about it. What were the
Mm,
conversations you were having in your head with yourself when you didn't achieve at
mm,
the first competition and you're questioning whether you should still stay in the sport? The support
mm,
from family and from friends is so valuable, but sometimes those
mm.
conversations that we have and what we tell ourselves is so powerful that it might get us to leave the sport. What made you stay in the sport? What were you telling yourself that made you stay?
Uh, I can't remember like which precisely, but
Mm,
then I just I just tell myself from there on, don't put so much expectation towards
mm-hmm.
something that control. If the result turns out the way, if it turns out positively, then yeah, we let's celebrate about it. But if it doesn't, why should I grieve about it?
Okay,
So
brilliant.
at a time, I was just trying to kind of mentality, and slowly let it be my habit, in like being instilled into my mindset, especially
Yes.
coming from someone who is a very perfectionist.
Mm-hmm.
I'm a Virgo, but
Okay.
uh from the top perspective, I'm a Virgo, so which is why I'm a very perfectionist in every single thing that I do in everything in my life, so including powerlifting itself, which is
Right.
why after that I just um, do whatever I can, at the best of my ability. Whatever result it shows, let let me just experience that moment.
Okay, fantastic. That's really good advice as well. So let's chat
Yeah.
about Commonwealth
Mm.
2022. What was that like for you? Because you sent us a great picture. It's going, you have to be a powerlifter because you have to hold up all of those medals.
Yep. So when I went to there, like I said, I
Mm,
didn't have any expectation at all. So after that, when I competed in that event, I was actually being medal in the silver position, and also like silver medals in all disciplines.
mm-hmm.
So it was actually a very humble and uh, a very good experience for me to to reignite my kind of a passion in powerlifting, because back
Right.
then, like before that, I was kept on a struggle whether I still wanted to continue in this journey or not. So that kind of a experience and result actually led me to continue to stay and pursue further in my powerlifting journey.
That's fantastic. What does it feel
Yeah.
like to be in your national tracksuit and standing on a podium with some of the best lifters in the world and you bending forward and you're getting a medal? over your head. For many athletes, just getting the
Mm,
participation medal in their
mm.
division means the world to them. What was it like for you standing on the podium?
Oh, I would say it was a great honor. It was a great honor for me to to get the medals, but more importantly, to be able to represent my country, to stand on that podium itself. It was actually a very, uh, it was one of the happiest moment in my life. Yeah, and I kept on telling myself and my fiance that this is the moment that I felt like very very proud that I've come to this so far.
It's absolutely very, very far. And now, in a
Mm.
few weeks, you're leaving for South Africa.
Yeah, yeah. Again, we are
Yep,
returning back to the 2024 versions.
that's 100%. So, how does
Yeah.
it feel for you coming to South Africa in common for Commonwealth champs?
Oh, first of all, my first impression is South Africa. Whoa, very far away. It's
Don't
gonna
worry, we have the same feeling for
a
about
very
you.
very long time for me.
Shoot, where are you going via Hong Kong, sort of, and then Cathay Pacific in, or what route are you
I'll
flying?
be flying to Singapore first, and
Okay,
then after that transitioning to Ethiopia, and
okay.
then only to South Africa. Yeah,
Okay, perfect.
yeah.
One
Overall,
thing, okay,
yeah.
take a water bottle with you on the plane and let them fill up your water bottle because it can be a little bit
Mm.
challenging. That Ethiopian airport, they're still building it, and
I,
just make sure you've got sufficient water with you because it
cool,
can
cool.
get a bit busy. Yeah.
I see. All right. Thank you for the advice.
Okay. So how many hours are you flying?
I would say roughly around 20 hours going
Yeah.
there, but coming back from South Africa, it will be around 36 hours.
Okay. Sure. It's a long time door to door. Yeah.
Exactly, exactly.
Yeah, I think the longest we've done is 30 hours door to door for Africa Champs. That was
Okay.
Johannesburg, Qatar, Casablanca, and then Casablanca on a bus for 4 hours to Meknes for that. But it was a lovely trip.
I
So,
see.
are you coming out on your own?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I'll be coming on
Okay,
my own this time. Yeah,
all right, fantastic.
yeah.
Now, I don't want to ask any expectations, but is there anything
Mm.
that you're hoping for that we can talk about, or do you want to keep
Mm.
that to yourself?
Ah, I would hope to keep it to myself.
Perfect.
Uh,
That's fine.
but but it's okay. I mean, we can talk about it. Coming into this competition, I did put some hope and expectation this time around. Not to the extent like like how I used to be,
Hmm.
but then seeing how the nominations right now and also the past and also the current record, the current Commonwealth record, uh, I'm actually aiming to break the total Commonwealth record itself.
Fantastic.
Yeah, but everything uh can turns out in a different way. So
Absolutely.
that's
Yeah.
why I don't think too much about it.
Cool.
But
So
that was actually one of
that's the
the main
plan.
points.
Okay. If it happens, it happens, and we're
Yeah,
holding thumbs that it does. Absolutely. So what I
exactly.
wanted to ask you now next is why should people get involved in the sport of powerlifting?
uh I would say for the longevity and uh first of all, I would say for the longevity of our body, it's
Right.
it's it's always for us to get into some sort of lifting. So for individuals who have not been into fitness, there there there's always a very good beneficial perspective in terms of lifting weights itself. I would say that my advice to especially those non-fitness people,
Hmm.
uh, powerlifting itself, we don't need to be very competitive. it is not something like a lot of major sports in this world, which is why it explains that in powerlifting itself, we have a lot of divisions. We have a
Yes.
lot of age categories, up to like the masters. I would say five, if I'm not
Yep.
mistaken.
Yep. Masters
Like
5
age,
currently.
eight, yeah, exactly. So it was actually very wide open for a lot of people to participate. You don't need to actually like to be very competitive to be involved in powerlifting itself.
Hmm.
And also being a non-fitness people, when they actually get into powerlifting, it will be very beneficial for them to lift weights, and then it builds the longevity in their bone mass and
Yes.
their health. There's a lot of good things about it. Yeah,
When you're focusing on your lifting and your body teaches you very quickly what you're doing right and what you're doing wrong. If you're not getting enough
exactly.
rest, if you're not eating well, if you're not staying hydrated, it's always a fun thing. We always tell people stay hydrated. this
Right,
is
that's
this is
right.
never too far from next to me. So absolutely. Yeah, and if
Okay,
you're lifting it and you're going, why are my numbers not tracking? They're not going up the way they should. Or, wow, they've gone up and they're really doing well. That's where you can sort of track how you are doing, and it keeps you healthy.
exactly. Progression is one of the key things that I think I've learned a lot in powerlifting itself. Like we don't need to like purposely chase for certain numbers, but then
Hmm.
to be able to lift slightly heavier, to lift better, to lift safer each time when we go into our training is actually uh, it has that very special moment to actually teach us that uh, we can actually progress a lot of things
Yes,
in life. We don't need to stay stagnant, to be a couch potato and whatnot, right?
absolutely. Sure. What
Yeah.
does the powerlifting community mean to you, both in Malaysia? We spoke about,
Mhm.
what you saw at the competition at the mall and traveling
Yeah.
internationally and competing internationally.
Yeah. The community itself is one of the uh, key area that actually like I said earlier, that led me to go into this sport,
Mm,
and also to continue to be able to sustain in the sport itself. Because without the support of the community, without the cheers, without the positive vibes around, it is very hard for the sport itself to actually grow further. Because
yes,
if, let's put it in this way, if everyone is not volunteering, is not helping out, of course the sport itself will not grow on its own. So we need actually people to actually to be together as one unit to grow the sport together,
yes.
and put in that kind of effort.
Absolutely. The
Yeah,
and the thing with this community is that everybody, as you said, has to get involved. If there are no referees, there are no competitions. If there's no one
yeah,
working the computer and the table, there's no competitions. If there's no one doing weigh-ins, there's no competitions. So, uh, how have you found the growth in the support staff in Malaysia? Are people taking their referee exams? Are they coming on board with assisting with the weigh-ins and setup, spotting and loading?
yeah. It was actually very I would say like everyone is very supportive, and every time when we host a a qualifying meet, a nationals, even internationals, we have hosted the Southeast Asian Cup, the
Hmm.
Asian Championship last year. We had a lot of very very kind and humble volunteers that they don't mind travel far away, all the way coming to one place to help out throughout the event. They don't mind like doing all the installations and setup,
Hmm.
dismantling of spotting or loading, in very early in the morning when
Yeah.
themselves is actually maybe not a morning person, but they sacrifice their own time. Uh, they just they just wanted to help out and grow the sports together, which is a very very humbling moment for me to actually see how this sport has fared so far in this country.
Fantastic. What would you like to see for the future of powerlifting in Malaysia?
Uh, I would like to see, of course, more athletes coming in to participate, and also hopefully there will be a lot of good national athletes to be able to represent the country.
Hmm.
But more importantly, I would actually wanted to see more of the volunteers coming in to into the federation itself to help out a lot of the back end works.
Right.
A lot of times when we had this kind of volunteers, they only I would say majority of them only show up during maybe like right before the event itself, during the
Yes.
setup, all this. It was just for the event itself, for the sake of
Right.
the events. But
Yes.
what what if after the events all these back end works? So we so especially us in the federation, we are the one who actually like we need to manage everything, all the paperwork and whatnot.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah,
Absolutely. We have
that's
a
also
lift. Uh, we have a lifter in South Africa. He's going to be Master 5 next year, Dan, and
wow.
he's been lifting for since the 1970s. So
Okay.
he's been in the game forever, and
Oh.
he's famous for at club and provincial competitions saying to everybody, "Stay behind, please. Just help clear up. We've got some prizes for you." And there's no prizes, but he gets everyone to stay behind.
That was a good idea.
Yeah, it's a very good. So it's worked very well. You could maybe try that. So
Yeah, yeah,
what?
yeah.
I mean, what
Definitely.
about the possibility of Malaysia hosting a Commonwealth Championships or a regional championships?
Uh, Regional championships, we actually did hosted
Hmm.
the Asian Championship last year.
Yes,
So it's actually very, very big. And as a result, we actually clocked the highest number of participations
yes.
ever in the Asian history. So
I
it
think
was
you. Yeah. Also, I think you guys had about 60,000 views on the live stream. It was massive.
exactly,
Yeah.
exactly. And also the athletes, the officials, it was a very, very uh, humbling and very positive moment for our country to be able to host this event very successfully, and
Mm,
even the federation executive committees gave a lot of praise towards us in doing all this doing all this back end stuffs. And in the end they also keep on asking whether when do we want to host worlds. So
right.
yeah, so it was like wow, a dream come true for our federation.
Absolutely
yeah,
fantastic. Yeah.
about hosting Commonwealth. Internally, we did discuss among some of the committees and also my president self. Uh, we we actually did have that thought of hosting Commonwealth in the next 2 years,
Okay.
since this event is really a
Mm,
biannual
mm,
event, right? Yeah. But then because in 2026 there will be a Sea Games
mhm.
for the country itself, so we actually might wanted to focus in our sub-regional uh, of this sport, because Sea Games is actually very big, and most of the time only those sports that are involved in Olympics will be able to join into this
Right.
multi-games event. So we actually wanted to push our national sport into this direction first.
Okay.
Yeah, but
Pushing.
we did have a thought about hosting Commonwealth. That's
Oh,
that's for
fantastic.
sure in our plan.
So that's something that's on the cards, and you're holding thumbs for you as well, because
Exactly.
I believe it would be absolutely fantastic. Is
Yeah.
there anything that you would like to discuss to talk about?
Uh how about the event itself? Like the, I
Mm.
mean, like,
Yeah.
uh, yeah, the 2024 Commonwealth. Like, how's the preparation so far?
So
In
yeah,
terms of, yeah, for the organ. I mean, in terms of the organizing
right.
committee.
Yeah,
Yeah,
everything is on track. All the equipment is packed and ready to rock and roll. Honey
yeah.
Smith, who's the event organizer, has been doing
Mm.
this for so long; it's almost automatic for him. So the venue, it's going to be fantastic. We've had two internationals there. I think we had World Masters and World Bench. Well,
Mm.
yeah, World. I think it was World Masters. No, it wasn't Masters. It was World Bench,
Yeah,
and yeah, and it was
yeah.
absolutely fantastic. And Sun City is a great location because you've got multiple hotels, you've got the game reserve right next door. If you want to go on a safari and a game drive, there's the Pilansberg. They've got the big
Right.
five, so you want to see the lions and the leopards and the elephants and the rhino and buffalo. Absolutely. The food in South Africa is great. Our meat quality is really good. And best of all, the thing I'm the most excited about is the fact that they have at Sun City, they have a giant water park called
Mm.
Valley of the Waves, and that's going to be open. The last two internationals, it was closed because for renovations because it was in winter. So definitely bring
Okay.
your bathing costume, and if you can get some time there, they've got some big slides and they've got a wave pool, so it's a lot of fun. Sun City is a wonderful venue to just hang around and be in. You can walk everywhere. So it's a city on its own, and it's very secure. So which is great.
Cool, cool, cool.
So
I'm
yeah,
so looking forward to coming
to
to
coming to go.
Sun City.
It's
Yeah,
going to
yeah,
be yeah,
exactly.
and we're live streaming it on our channel, and we're going to be live streaming World Masters and the Commonwealth at the same time on our two different channels, because both events will be taking place at the same time in the venue, and I'll be announcing both events at the same time. So that's going to be fun.
That's gonna be
For
fun. Yeah, yeah.
That's going to be a lot
You
of fun.
the first time ever
Yeah.
Commonwealth combined with the World Masters.
So, yeah. So I think
Yeah.
we're getting. I stand corrected. I know it's over 1,000 athletes that are confirmed, but I think
Uh-huh.
it's around about 1,300. So it's
Cool.
going to be a massive event, and it's going to be absolutely awesome to meet athletes, to meet coaches, and to hang out and get to know one another. So, how long are you coming out for?
I would say 3 days before
Okay,
my
cool.
competition stuff. Yeah.
Okay, good. So then you'll have
Yeah.
some time just to rest and again also to walk around and experience a bit of Sun City, hopefully go on a game drive. I'm going to be putting up a video, I think, towards the end of this week of things to do in and around Sun City. So that's going to be a lot of fun. And it'll give you guys an idea of what to do. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Sure. Gee,
Very.
Kenneth, it's been absolutely fantastic talking to you. Thank you so much for your time. Thank you for coming onto the show. And we're looking forward to meeting you at Sun City as well. And hopefully also chatting after the competition.
Sure, sure. Thanks,
Yeah,
Nicholas.
yeah.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah,
Yep.
only a pleasure. Well, I want more photographs with medals. Okay, that's the deal.
Hopefully, fingers crossed.
Absolutely, 100%. Yeah, fingers crossed, but not on the bench. Okay, on the on the squat, yes, but not on the bench.
Why did you say so?
Yeah, you don't want to be doing that on the bench and then waiting for your start command. You're going to get your replace. Yeah, fantastic. All right, I'm going to end the live stream and the recording, and then I'll just talk to you quickly before we finish. Thank you so much.
No problem. All right. Thanks, Timothy. Thank you for your time.